My name's Taffery, and I have 2 kids. My son Hudson is 4.5, and my daughter Kensley is almost 6 months. And I've had a unique experience because both of my kids had their tongue ties clipped. And it was very different experiences with both of them. With my son, it was very difficult. He wasn't latching very well. Just nothing seemed to be working. And Dr. Agarwal was the first physician that actually came in and saw my son in the hospital, and he mentioned that he was tongue-tied, and I had seen a little bit or read a little bit about it in my breastfeeding classes, but it didn't really kind of click because it didn't look like the pictures that they talked about because his was more in the back. And so I didn't really understand, and I'd go to our appointments, and we were really concerned because he wasn't gaining weight. And as a mom, I felt like I was failing. I felt like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to, and it was heartbreaking to me because I knew nutritionally I needed to breastfeed, so I was pumping as much as I could, but I was in so much pain. And it got to the point that when it would come time for him to start showing signs of hunger, I would just start bawling because I knew it was gonna be it hurt so bad. It felt like somebody was stabbing me. And so when he was about 3.5 weeks old, I went to an appointment, and I just broke down in tears. And so we talked about all the pros and cons, and I knew there was really no guarantee that it would fix anything, but I'd been reading a lot of the literature and the studies and looking at everything, and I knew there were potential other benefits, like, it could help with speech problems and, down the road if there's a potential tongue tie, if we took care of it now. There was no guarantee, but I was at the end of my rope. I knew I couldn't pump full time. That wouldn't work for me. I just needed something. I felt guilty as a mom for doing a procedure that would cause him pain. I felt horrible when we had his circumcision because I was allowing some pain to be inflicted, and so I kind of was going through the same emotions when we did the tongue tie with my son. And it was a very fast procedure. They asked me to nurse right away, and he latched on. It was a better latch. It still wasn't perfect, but I didn't hear those clicking sounds anymore that he was making. He wasn't struggling the way that he was before, but within about 2 weeks, I was no longer panicked anymore. I could go somewhere without a bottle of breast milk and know that I could feed my own baby. I could do it on my own. And that was huge for me. And then his weight gain started being more appropriate, and he came back to the growth charts where he should have been. And so, as a pediatric dietitian, I felt horrible as a mom because I knew what I needed to do. And in the early beginnings, it was horrible. I felt a failure. But once he started gaining weight and I could breastfeed appropriately, it was the weight of the world was off of my shoulders.
All right, well, my name is Daniel, and obviously this is my wife, and she's been talking about Hudson and Kinsley, and it's kind of very hard to see your wife going through something like that because as a father, there's nothing you really can do other than support. And so, obviously, with some research and Taffery's background and Dr. Agarwal, we've been able to have Hudson's tongue tie taken care of, and it made a world of difference there. And then all of a sudden, Kinsley comes into our life, and she threw even another curveball at us with the lip tie, and that was probably harder on me than the tongue tie. And I've heard that that's probably supposed to be easier. But with the lip tie, she was just a little older, so she would recognize when Dad had to come rub her lip after the procedure. And as a father, that was hard to see her go through that because she wasn't really thrilled, even though it was something that was helping her out. And we could see a big difference in her eating, and in the fact that, from my view, she wasn't puking on me all the time because Taffery would feed her and then hand her off to me because I would want to play. And before either one of the procedures, she would spit up quite a bit, and now she does not do that. Very, very little, if any.
Yeah, the reflux is almost gone completely, which is phenomenal.
So, and as a you know, as a father, they probably don't quite understand the what's going on, but they're very forgiving, and they're very successful at eating and being healthy and happy. Huh? What do you think, Hudson?
Yeah.
Yes. Are you hungry quite often and eat good? Oh, okay. Obviously, we love the children no matter what, but my nights and my mornings and my especially my nights are much better in the evening because they eat and they sleep, and it's very nice to see them be happy, and especially see my wife be happy, because to see her go through that pain. Obviously, I don't relate to the pain, but I can see her going through it, and all I could say is, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And I mean, it's a miracle to have professionals who know what to do and help fix things that it seems so small, but it's just huge in our life, and in these kids' lives. They probably don't understand or recognize it, obviously, but we sure do, because we see the effect. And as a husband, I see the effect, because when Mama's not feeling good, no one's feeling good. So Dr. Argenwall and his whole team, we've had nothing but great experience with all of it. And like I say, when it's something that you really feel, it's very easy to say. And so we appreciate them, and we appreciate all those that have helped these two and helped us. So
I just wish more doctors would get on board.